million gate since the famous Dempsey Tunney Longhouse battle in Chicago 8 years before. Everyone's stunned by the fury of Lewis's attack.
Okay, how about now? Give me a thumbs up. I think I got it. Let me check with Miss Cass. Okay, can you hear me now? Can you hear me now? Huh? Okay. All right. Okay. Somebody please give me a thumbs up. You should be able to hear me now. Thank you. Okay, thank you. Got it. All right, sorry about that. But guess what? Why you couldn't hear me? I never added myself to the stage. You know how when people, you drop the link, you got to add people to the stage. I never added myself. Wow, Cass. I guess I was so excited to get started. Never added myself to the stage. Okay. So now it's 2:30. Time to get started with today's show. Sorry about that. Remo, I never added myself to the stage. Why didn't you tell me? Wow. Wait. I wasn't on mute. I wasn't even part of the show. Okay. So let's get ready to get started with today's show then. Defense in boxing. Now what did I do with my glasses? There they go. Okay, let's get ready to do this. Get my slide display ready. Try to give y'all some good images today. Worked hard on this. I think I got some good images for y'all today. We're gonna see. Y'all got to tell me about these things, man. Okay. Let's see. Wait a minute. Okay. Not me. That was me. I'm not a robot. No, y'all don't see me that much. I'm not a robot. See? I'm a person. Okay. Defense in boxing. But sorry about that. Yeah, I never added myself to the stage. That's crazy. But anyway, so that killed some time. Lonnie Lee will be here. Al Booger will be here. But it's all good now. Stuff happens. Let me take a drink before I get started. It unsettled me a little bit. But how was everybody's weekend before we get started? Mine was okay. No fights today. I mean, this weekend. We did have Kermel Moton, but I didn't see that. Glad everybody can hear me. I am now a part of the show. You know? I mean, you got to add people when you drop the link. You got to add yourself first. Right? Defense and boxing. You see Floyd and Juan Manuel Marquez right there on the thumbnail. Okay, let's see how these images are today. Defense in boxing. Now, some coaches argue that you should learn boxing defense before you even learn to punch, right? It's that important to your overall skill set. Because defense is 50% of the sweet science. But it's an aspect of the sport that so many people, particularly beginners, neglect in favor of practicing offense. Just like methods of attack, there are countless ways to defend yourself in boxing. But it's best to learn just a few things at first and get comfortable with them before exploring every facet of defense, right? Now, you would not expect a novice to rip off an 8-shot combination to the body and head. So it's also unrealistic to expect to gain the ability to bob, weave, slip, and slide around the ring like a Floyd Mayweather Jr. when you first start out, right? But by grasping the core principles of the things we discussed today, boxers build knowledge that allows them to minimize the amount of damage they absorb in the ring. Now, it also serves as a solid foundation to build more complex skills on. Now, all instructions we talk about today is going to be for orthodox fighters. So for southpaws, all you have to do is just flip the instructions, okay? Everything is based on being an orthodox fighter. Then I'm going to go over. Bruce Gas, Boxing, Jazz, and more in the building. What's up, Bruce Gas? Good to see you today. And Ray Patterson, straight out of New Jersey. What's up, RP? How are you today, bro? Always a pleasure. Ray Patterson, straight out of New Jersey, home of Just Do Boxing. Okay. Now, defensive fundamental. Okay, let's talk about defensive fundamental. Now, before learning how to defend against punches, it's important to remember some of the basic principles of boxing. Okay, now by staying true to these essential aspects of the sport, boxers already have some essential aspects of a solid defense. Now remember, protect yourself at all times. That's a big one. Protect yourself at all times. Keep your hands up by your cheeks to protect your chin. Now, many maneuvers will require you to make adjustments from this starting point. Okay, another one. Keep your chin down. Okay, keep your chin down. You should always tuck the most vulnerable part of your anatomy that an opponent can legally attack, the chin. Okay? Remember to keep your chin protected behind your shoulder when you punch. Also, okay? When you punch, keep that shoulder up, protecting that chin. Stay on the move. If you stand right in front of your opponent, you'll be an easy target. So make sure your opponent has to do some work to connect their fists to your head and body, okay? Another one. Don't be afraid to get hit, because even the best boxing champions have eaten plenty of shots in their careers, right? Getting hit is part of the game. And boxers learn that they're not as fragile as they might think, once you get in there and take some punches. So don't be afraid to get hit. Now let's talk about some basic footwork and distance management. Now, it might seem obvious, but the most simple principle of striking defense is, if you are outside your opponent's range, that means they can't hit you. And it doesn't matter how fast your opponent is, how hard they hit, or how accurate their punches are. If they cannot reach you, there's zero chance of them hurting you, okay? Now, there are hundreds of footwork techniques and drills that boxers use to move around the ring and control distance. But for a complete novice, there are two fundamental movements that creates a solid base to build their skill set on, okay? Number one, step back. And this is as simple and as easy as it sounds. If your opponent attacks with a jab, for example, simply step back. Just remember to maintain your stance and move your feet properly so you don't cross them. So when you're stepping back, step back with the right foot first, then your left foot. And for southpaw, it's just the opposite. Step back with your left foot first, then the right foot. So even more easier, just step back with your back foot first, okay? Which if you're orthodox would be your right foot, southpaw would be your left foot. So when you're stepping back out of range, always step back with your back foot first, okay? And with just one step, you will have made your opponent miss, and you will also be clear of any other shots. And so to land a punch, then your opponent will have to overreach, and that would compromise their power, leaving them wide open to be counted, right? So just simply step back, that's all. And it's as simple as it sounds. Then also step back and circle. And you can add to your backward step by moving laterally, okay? This will help to prevent opponents from landing follow-up shots and making adjustments, like you step back, they try to follow you in, move laterally, okay? And again, this is very simple. After you step back, circle out to the right by stepping with your right foot first. Now, if you're southpaw, step to the left. Step back first with your left foot, right foot, then step to the left with your left foot or back foot first, okay? And then continue to move as far as you feel is necessary, right, to stay out of your opponent's range. And this is the perfect antidote to a double jab. Now, once you've moved, your opponent should have missed and then ended up out of range and out of position for a follow-up shot. And once you have avoided their punches, launching a counterattack is just as straightforward. All you got to do, just simply step back into range and attack. Okay? That's all. Very simple. Now let's talk about footwork fundamentals. Footwork fundamentals. Now, beyond the simplicity and safety factors, using backward and lateral movement is a great defensive strategy for a few reasons, okay? Number one, you could encourage impatient boxers to chase you, and that could frustrate them, which could lead to them making mistakes and leaving holes that can be exploited, okay? Number two, slower opponents will struggle to keep up with your movement. Number three, boxers who like stamina will get tired trying to catch an active and moving opponent, the gas tank. But like everything else, there are a few drawbacks or negatives to when you're stepping, when you're on the move too. First, you'll be out of range for your own offense, okay? Then, constant in and out movement takes a lot of energy, can affect your gas tank, right? And then, you won't be able to counter without moving back into range. And this is a big one here. Too much back paddling and circling may be seen as a lack of aggression in the judge's eye, okay? And it is hard to generate much power moving backward, okay? Everybody ain't Muhammad Ali or Sugar Ray Robinson. Ali could sting you going backward. Sugar Ray been known to knock out people going backwards. But, for the average boxer, it is hard to generate much power going backward. So there are some negatives when you want to be on the move all the time. So for these reasons, it's important not to rely completely on backward movement to stay safe. But it can be a solid part of a well-rounded strategy, okay? Now let's talk about blocking, essential part of defense, blocking. Okay, let's talk about blocking. Hardcore boxing news, hashtag JBT, J Hardcore in the building. What's up, J Hardcore? How are you today? Jay Hardcore from the Hangout. That's the proprietor of the Hangout, of the JBT's Hangout. Monday through Friday, 8 p.m. Sundays at 9. We got the Old Timers show on Sundays, 8 p.m. And then 8 p.m. Friday nights. Y'all know what happened then. The Friday night hangout. Anything can happen at Friday night hangout. Okay? Jay Hardcore, hashtag JBT. Salute Jay Hardcore. That's the founder of the JBT, by the way. And what an idea he came up with. That thing is clicking on all cylinders. Steadily adding big time channels. Okay. Yeah, we're going to talk about blocking now. Okay. Now, one of the ways to defend against an incoming punch is to block it. Now, this is not the perfect defense because the blow from the incoming fist will still be absorbed, but in a scenario where it's difficult to slip or roll away from a punch, blocking is a solid way to defend against that punch. Any punch can be blocked, but there's a different method depending on the type of shot that's thrown at you, okay? Now, straight punches. Now, when a jab or a cross comes towards your head, just let your gloves do the work, right? Now, when you're attacked by a jab, now this is for orthodox. Southpaw is just reverse it. Now, when you're attacked by a jab, bring your right hand up to your temple and rotate your shoulder slightly to the left, okay? So southpaw is just the opposite. Attacked by a jab, bring your left hand up to your temple, rotate your shoulders slightly to the right, okay? Just do the opposite for southpaw. Now, when you're attacked by a cross, bring your left hand up to your temple and rotate your shoulders slightly to the right. Now, make sure you keep your hands tight to your head in each situation so the blows don't cause you to punch yourself in the face, right? Because if you got your hands too way away from your head to block, the punch is going to smack your hands back and you're going to punch your own self in the face. So when you're blocking these punches, keep that hand tight to your face. It lessens the impact of it. Right? Think about it. Okay. Now, yeah, Jay says the drunk show on the Friday night hangout. Yeah. Everything happened. They got robbed one Friday. Me and Boxing was coming there with a mask on, man. Yeah. The Friday night hangout, man. Don't miss it. Now, the incoming punch, Friday is a huge day in the JBT too, all day long. We're trying to get every day like that, Now, the incoming punches should bounce off your gloves, leaving you relatively unscathed. And the jab can also be blocked with a basic parry or catch. Now, the way you do this is keep your hands in front of your chin and turn your right palm towards your opponent to catch the punch. This looks almost just like you're using the glove like a focus fit. You know how your trainer standing up there holding the mitt up and you're punching it. Yeah, that type of blocking when you're catching, it's almost just like that. Like punch it like we see, like the trainer holding up the focus mitt, the mitts. Now you have to maintain a strong wrist when catching punches, because this way, catching punches this way to make sure your gloves is not knocked back again into your face. So your wrist got to be strong, or you can end up punching yourself in the face from the force of your opponent's punch, right? Okay. Now hooks. Mike Rim in the building. What's up, Mike? What's up, Mike? Mike Rim in the building. I seen that big fish you had the other day I seen the picture Jay put up, Mike Rim. Wow, wait. That was a monster. But salute, Mike. Defense in boxing today, my brother. Hooks. Let's talk about defending against the hook. Okay? Yeah, okay. Defending against the hook. Now, defending hooks uses a similar high guard to the jab and the cross. Now for a left hook, remember, this is for orthodox fight. Just reverse it for southpaw. Now, when you're blocking a left hook, bring your right hand up to your temple and rotate your shoulder slightly to the left. And for a right hook, bring your left hand up to your temple and rotate your shoulder slightly to the right. You know, Monday is always our little technical shows where, you know, this is for the hardcore boxing fans, you know. We get down deep and dirty on Mondays. Now you will feel the impact of your opponent's strike, but stay calm. Blocking is far better than being hit in the face. And you're in a great position to counter, right? Now let's talk about blocking the uppercut. Blocking the uppercut, okay? Blocking the uppercut. The image is getting any better, Remo? But I'll talk to you later. I'm trying, my brother. Now, uppercuts. Blocking the uppercut. Now, there are a couple of ways to block an uppercut. Now, the method that's used will depend on, well, the method that's used to block an uppercut will depend on the situation and how confident you are in your ability. Now, start with a safety first approach that allows you to deflect blows while you keep your hands up, right? Always got to keep them hands up to protect against the next punch coming your way. Now, this way, you don't have to adjust your stance and you're still in a position to counter. There I go, getting ahead of my notes. Yeah, but always keep your hands up because you always want to be in a position to counter, you know? Now, for a right uppercut, turn your shoulders to the right so that the punch lands on your left forearm. And for a left uppercut, turn your shoulders to the left so that the punch lands on your right forearm. Now see, that guy there must be a southpaw because see, it's a left uppercut. Now said for a left uppercut, you're supposed to turn your shoulders to the left so that the punch lands on your right forearm. But see, he turned his shoulders to the right and the punch is landing on his left forearm. So he must be a southpaw, just the opposite, right? Perfect example right there. Now you can also catch the uppercuts similar to catching the jab, you know, like the mitt, by using your palm, turning your palms toward the opponent. This can be done in two ways, each with a pro and a con. Okay. Now, catching an uppercut on the same side, for example, using your right hand to block a right uppercut. Now, positive, the pro with this, you can keep your opposite hand up to defend yourself from a punch from your opponent's other hand. Now, the negative this or the con is, it's harder to counter in this situation because both your hands are occupied, right? Now, catching an uppercut on the opposite side, for example, using your left hand to block a right uppercut. The positive to this, your opposite hand is free to reply with a quick counter. The negative, the arm you use to block is not protecting your face. So it's open to being hit with your opponent's other hand, right? Now, body shots. Blocking body shots. Any boxer that gets the hang of blocking punches to the head won't have much difficulty adjusting to body blows, right? Now, applying similar tactics, they'll be able to deflect the body attacks to. Same principles and tactics that you use to block the punches to the head. Now, for straight punches to the body, slightly lean in and absorb the blow with your opposite forearm, right? Lean in. Like if it's a right punch coming from the right, your opponent's right hand, just lean in, and use your left forearm to block it, right? Now, for hooks, move your elbows down and lean slightly to the side the punch is coming from, right? Block it with your elbows, okay? Now, blocking fundamentals. We get ready to finish up this part of the show. Blocking fundamentals, okay? strong. Okay, he's just they just talking. Blocking fundamentals. Now, none of the defenses we talked about today are difficult to learn or execute, but boxers still need to drill them many times before they can truly master them and seamlessly use them in sparring or in fights, right? And as they drill these defenses, it's important to remember the following points, okay? Back to that chin. Always keep your chin down. If a punch does slip past your guard, you need to keep the most vulnerable part of your body safe. Always keep that chin down. That's a big one. And try not to flinch. Now, it's only natural to react this way when you start out, but try to get used to facing punches head on so you're all set to return fire. Okay? And don't lean back. Now, if you have to move to defend yourself, move your feet by stepping back or backing laterally, like we talked about, you know? And if you're stepping back, always step back with the back foot first, you know? Orthodox, that'll be your right foot. Southpaw, that'll be your left foot. When you're stepping back out of range, always move your back foot first, okay? Because if you move that front foot first, that's going to get you crossed up. Okay, put you out of position, quick, fast, and in a hurry. Okay? And step back or step back and laterally. We talked about that. And when you're going laterally, step back with your back foot first, followed by your front foot. And then when you step laterally, use your back, always move your back foot first, followed by your front foot. Right foot for orthodox, left foot for southpaw. Now, if a punch lands on you, the impact will be reduced, you know, if your footwork is correct, right? Exhale and meet shots head on. And the beauty of a good block is that you stay strong and you stay in a position to counter immediately. That's important. You always want to be able to counter immediately. Your opponent make that punch and throw itself out of range. It don't make no sense for you to be out of position to take advantage of it with the counter. Okay? Always want to be in position to counter. Okay, yeah, Melanie Queen, that's right. That big raffle coming up. 3 first place prizes, man. Apple 10th generation iPad, Kaneki Bear headphones, or the third first place prize is the Ninja Air Fryer. And Kaneki Bear is a proud sponsor of the JBT organization, right? Now, okay, 3 o'clock. I've been on here like 10 minutes. How's it 3 o'clock already? Now, don't try to anticipate shots. Now, if your opponent sees you moving to defend a jab to the head, that is their green light to fake and attack another part of your body. Try to react to what your opponent throws instead, right? Don't try to anticipate, because your opponent gonna pick up on that, okay? And he gonna feint you. And when you go to anticipate, he gonna throw something else, right? Don't get stuck in your shell. It's unlikely you'll block every punch that comes your way. And even if you try, your opponent will be able to have an uninterrupted attack. Even if they can't finish you off, your lack of offense will equal an easy win on the scorecard, okay? So that's important. Don't try to block every punch, okay? Slip, move, bob, weave. There's other ways to get out of the way other than blocking. You just got to pay attention and be smart in there. Stay focused. And a good defense should set up attacks in return. A good defense is the best offense, right? Okay. Now we're going to talk about some of these. I got like 25 of the top defensive fighters of all times. Okay. Let's talk about it. We're going to get into some of these great defensive fighters now. Right at 3. That worked out perfectly. Yes. Okay. Now, the San Antonio Spurs used to be known for their defense. In the years, it was anchored by David Robinson and Tim Duncan, the Twin Towers. And there's no question, their defense wins championships, right? But how about in the sport of boxing? Now, great defense transcends and defines champions in all sports. Just like we see in Super Bowls, World Series, NBA Finals, Stanley Cup Finals, and boxing championship fights. Solid defense is one of the major factors in which teams or individuals are crowned as champions, right? Now in boxing, defense is all about hitting without getting hit, okay? Hitting without getting hit. Boxers everywhere will tell you that very concept is the true core of the sport of boxing. As the great Muhammad Ali used to say, famously say, float like a butterfly, sting like a bee. The hands can't hit what the eyes can't see, right? Now, some boxers take these defensive skills to an entirely different level. And now we're going to take a look at some of the top defensive fighters in boxing history. So let's jump on into this, okay? Let's jump on into it. Okay. All right. First person, we're talking about 25 of the greatest defensive fighters of all time. Okay. First is the great Sam Langford. There's Sam. Yeah. Black and white. Is that nice and clear? Yeah, I think so. Remo gonna let me know after the show. Hope you don't make me cry. No, I'm just kidding. but yeah, Remo is a person that he's in charge of the look of the JBT, and he know what he's doing. Salute to Remo. Okay, Sam Langford was a great defensive fighter, though. Yeah, we're talking about some great defensive fighters now. Sam Langford. Now, ESPN called Sam Langford the greatest fighter nobody knows, primarily because he never secured a world title. I think he only really had like one world title shot. Lonnie Lee, hashtag JBT. Where you been, Lonnie Lee? I've been looking for you for the last half hour, man. Wow. You missed the whole first portion. But now we're talking about the great defensive fighters. You know, I got to do some profiles. But yeah, better late than never. Lonnie must have had to do a little overtime today or something. But salute Lonnie Lee, hashtag JBT in the building. Okay. Sam Langford. Yeah. Sam never secured a world title. I think he might have only had like one title shot. He fought for the world colored a bunch of times. World colored heavyweight title. That was a title for the black fighters back in the day. You know, we was colored back then. We wasn't black. This is like early 1900s. But Sam never had a shot for the regular heavyweight title. I think he might have had one, but he never won it. And they called him the greatest fighter that never won the title, right? Now, speculators say this is due to the extremely popular Jack Johnson's refusal to fight Langford. Because, you know, Jack used to fight for the colored title. And when he got his shot for the regular title, Jack started doing the same thing the white fighter was doing. He wouldn't fight the black fighter. Okay. Jack was a trip. But Sam Langford was 5'6", 185 pounds. And a lot of people thought he could beat Jack Johnson. That's why Jack wouldn't fight him. Okay. But Sam was a good defensive fighter. And he's like the best fighter that never had a world title. Sam Langford. Next, the hands of stone, Roberto Duran. Okay, the hands of stone. There's Roberto. Okay, Roberto Duran. Now, I'm my ink pen. Okay. Now, Roberto Duran gained a reputation as a versatile brawler. more commonly known nowadays as a boxer puncher, pressure fighter, swarmer, Now, Duran could fight skillfully when he needed to and exchange aggressively at the drop of a hat. But see, his defense was underrated because he was such an offensive fighter, with the pressure and everything. But he was a great defensive fighter. Yes, he was. Roberto Duran. The Hands of Stone. Roberto Duran. Let's say it was The Hands of Stone. Okay. Next, Lights Out. JT. James Toney. Okay. James Toney, JT. Lights Out. Now, made that shoulder roll defense famous. Although his professional record in MMA does not suggest it, Toney is known for slipping and rolling with punches to avoid absorbing the full impact. Arguably one of the slickest moves in boxing, fading or swaying a punch gives a fighter great opportunities to counter. Unfortunately, not every fighter has the timing to pull off such a defensive move. Toney was one of the best at it. Okay, this is just like a little short profile on these guys. Lights Out, James Toney. Next, the Eastern Assassin, Larry Holmes. There's Larry. There's Larry. I hope I get a good grade today. At least a C. I think I deserve a C on the images. I don't know. But I'm gonna just wait for the man to let me know. Larry Holmes, the Eastern Assassin. I ain't gonna say nothing else. The jab is an absolute must for any serious boxer, especially heavyweight. Holmes had a tremendous jab, and he handed Ali, Norton, and Cooney losses directly due to that jab he had, right? Larry Holmes. And that's what made his defense so good. That jab, they couldn't get to him. Because that jab fought him off. We're going to go back a ways now. Stanley Ketchel. There he is. Stanley Ketchel. Stanley Ketchel. Now, Stanley was called the Michigan Assassin. He was born to Polish immigrants in 1886. Ketchel would remind some of us of a Manny Pacquiao of his day. He was a middleweight who often fought heavyweights. His boxer-puncher style allowed him to win against fighters who outweighed him by 30 pounds or more. So he had to have a good defense. Going up in there against men outweighing him by 30 pounds or more, right? No question. Next is the Manasseh Mauler, Jack Dempsey. The Manasseh Mauler, Jack Dempsey. Come on, man. What's going on? Jack Dempsey, the Manasseh Mauler. Damn, I don't know what's going on with this thing, man. But there's Jack, the Manasseh Mauler. Okay. Man, why do they keep doing that? But Dempsey is a rare, once-in-a-lifetime type fighter. His offense was his defense, okay? He became one of the most popular boxers of his era because of his aggressive style, which pleased his fans. And Jack was one of the big five of the 20s, It was Jack from boxing, Babe Ruth from baseball, Bill Tilden from tennis, Bobby Jones from golf, and Red Grange was from football. And guess what? Jack was the most popular of all of them. Married a couple Hollywood starlets, okay? Not one, a couple of Hollywood starlets. The Manasseh Mauler, Jack Dempsey. Next is what is thinking? Is it getting ready to go off? Damn. Okay. Marco Antonio Barrera. Damn. There he is. That's Marco on the right. Marco Antonio Barrera. Okay. Now, Barrera is another seemingly displaced boxer, right? On the best defense list, because Barrera is legendary for delivering some of the biggest brawls in boxing history. So when you think of Marco Antonio Barrera, you don't think of defense. All them brawls he was in, But he put on a boxing clinic against the very dangerous Naseem Hamed, right? And some people claim that Barrera had a rare ability to change his style as he got older, a trait that made him great. And Cotto also did that. Cotto became a better boxer as he got older, the great Miguel Cotto. Yeah, this thing better not do that this time. Go to the next picture, not me. Next is, let's see, who is next? Here we go. Next is the Brown Bomber, Joe Louis. Joe Louis, the Brown Bomber. Okay? Wow. We got a ways to go. Okay. We're going to get some link time today, too. Joe Louis. Now, Joe Louis holds the world record at 25. Sometimes he had 25, sometimes he had 26. But for the most consecutive title defense, he got it at heavyweight. 23 of them was stopped. Okay, whether it's 25 or 26, I know 23 of them didn't go the distance with him. That was over 12 years. Joe Louis. That's why I call him the greatest. That's greatest type stuff there, right? That's right, Jay. One of the greats. Jay Hardcore knows. Jay Hardcore go way back in this boxing game, man. Mm-hmm. Joe Louis, the Brown Bomber. Right. 25 straight title defenses. I'm going to have to look at it because I heard 25, 26. But I know 23 of them didn't go the distance. Okay. And that's quite an achievement there. Over 12 years. Only 2 or 3 people went the distance with him. Okay. That's greatest type stuff. Now, Joe Louis was a clean, living, honest fighter. He was rejuvenating for boxing, which had earned a bad reputation for fixed fights and gambling. And Joe came along right after Jack Johnson. He was the next black heavyweight champion after Jack Johnson. And Jack Johnson had kind of gave like a black eye to boxing because Jack was just, out there, man, and he did things purposely to turn the establishment against him, He had to leave the country for a while because they was looking for his ass. Jack Johnson. Mm-hmm. Had to run to France. Yes, he did. Next is a great legendary. Ronald Winky Wright. There he is on the right. Did Winky fight B-Hop? That looks like B-Hop. I don't know if Winky fought B-Hop, though. That might not be B-Hop, but that's Winky on the right. Is that B-Hop he fighting? I don't know if Winky fought B-Hop or not. But Ronald Winky Wright, that's him on the right there. Winky Wright on the right. Now, Ronald Wright is freakishly good with an arm span longer than his height. You don't usually get that. His arm span was longer than his height, right? Winky was built for defense. Had that peekaboo boxing style that allowed him to work behind a seemingly impenetrable armor. Now check this out. You know how fighters will hit you in the head, try to bring your arms down to protect your... No, boxers will hit you in the body, try to bring your arms down for protecting your head to protect your body. You couldn't do that against Winky because when Winky put his guard up to cover his head, his elbows are extended all the way down to his waist. One of the few boxers that could protect his head and his body at the same time. So you couldn't go upstairs on Winky to bring his arms down because they was already down covering his body. So yeah, arm span was more than his height. Ronald Winky Wright. Yep. Next, 25 of the greatest defensive boxers of all time. The Rock, Rocky Marciano. Only heavyweight to retire undefeated. Okay? Oh, Remo's sending somebody to the principal's office. Me? Oh, no, not me. I'm already in here. Oh, Winky went to J. Hardcore's high school. Wow. Yeah, Winky's from Maryland. Mm-hmm. He went to J. Hardcore's high school. Wow. Wait. Did you know him, Jay? Was y'all about Winky, about your age? I mean, was it at the same time you was there, Jay, or earlier or later, or, you know? Wow. Told you. Winky Wright went to J. Hardcore's high school. Yeah, Rocky Marciano. He's a good defensive fighter. But he was so offensive, kind of like Roberto, with that pressure style, that his defense was underrated. His defense was underrated because he was so offensive, right? But Rocky Marciano, okay? The only heavyweight to retire undefeated at 49-0 with 43 knockouts. That's like 80-something%. I got my calculator right here. You know, I'm fascinated with knockout rates. I'm going to find out. Excuse me for a minute. 87%. 87.7, so you might as well say 88% knockout rate, almost 90. That's almost 9 out of 10 people he fought went up out of there. Okay? 49-0, 43 knockouts. Enough said. I ain't got to say no more about Rocky. Never lost. Almost 90% knockout rate. Defense was underrated because of the style. The style he fought, that pressure style. You're not going to think about defense when you watch somebody like Rocky always in his opponent's face. But he had a good defense, too. Yep. Next. The great. I mean the great. Benny Leonard. Number 8. Top 10 on the Cash Sports all-time pound for pound list. The great Benny Leonard. The Ghetto Wizard. That's what they called him. The Ghetto Wizard. Benny Leonard. There he is. Now I like that picture. You got to give me an A+ on that one, Remo. I got to get an A+ on that one. I'm gonna keep that. I like that. You like that, Remo? I do. That is a good one there. I make some good ones sometimes. Yeah, I got to get an A+ on that one. Remo is tough though, man. Okay, the great Benny Leonard. Okay. Now, Benny was one of the greatest, that's one of the greatest nicknames, the Ghetto Wizard. I like that. Now, Benny learned to fight on the streets of a Jewish ghetto. And when he went pro, he quickly gained notoriety as a highly skilled boxer with superior defensive ability. The great Benny Leonard. Yeah, I'm keeping that picture. That's an A++ right there. Man, I can't stop looking at it. Not a blare or nothing anywhere. Look at that. Gotta love that one. But next is another great one. Another all-time great. Arguably the greatest lightweight of all time. Along with Roberto Duran and the face of boxing, the current face of boxing, Gervonta Tank Davis. Henry Armstrong, the man, when it was only 8 weight divisions, he was champion in 3 of them and almost was champion in 4, half of them. They cheated him and called the fight a draw. He was going for middleweight, his 4th weight division, right? He would have been champion in 4 to 8 weight divisions at the same time. And he went up and down defending all the belts, okay? He didn't just have them, he was defending all of them. In 1937, he fought 20 times. 1938, he fought 11 times. And guess what? He won every one of them. 31 times in 2 years. That's a whole career nowadays, an entire career. He did it in 2 years and won every one of them. Henry Armstrong. There he is. Now, ESPN ranked, now he was number 3 on the Cash Sports all-time pound for pound list. Number 3. Now, ESPN ranked Henry Armstrong number 3 in the 50 greatest fighters of all time. Cash Sports had him 3 too. So ESPN must have looked at my list. Yeah, they copied off of Cash Sports. Yeah. They know. They ESPN, no. He said, Cat Sports got a number 3. Let's put it number 3. Now, Armstrong did something only Manny Pacquiao was able to supersede. Okay. He, well, that's not true. Scratch that. In the early 1900s, there were fewer weight divisions, right? Yeah. And if Armstrong would have fought today, that would equal out to be 7 championships in 7 different weight classes. So that's the thing that only Manny Pacquiao did. 3 and 8 of them, that equals out to 7 in the classes they had today. The legendary Henry Armstrong, Homicide Hank, what they called him, Homicide Hank. Okay. Melanie Queen says, sounds like my knockout B ratio. Okay. And there is Manny. Manny is on here. Manny was a good defensive fighter. Yeah. The Pac-Man, Manny Pacquiao, makes the list. Okay. Now, he was a Filipino icon, Manny Pacquiao. Now, while some folks will contest Manny is more of an offensive fighter, his defense is largely underrated. His recent, he dominated fighters. Some of his domination of fighters was directly attributed to his hard punching and ability to reduce the amount of punishment he took, right? And Pacquiao rarely clinched up. He depended on his footwork and sidestepping motion to avoid taking heavy punishment from larger fighters. Okay, because Manny went through 8 weight classes. He came from way down there. Went to welterweight. Did he go to junior middleweight? I think Manny he fought at junior middleweight, but I think he came in at 154. It was like a catch weight when he fought Oscar. It was at junior middleweight, but I think it was like 152. Junior middleweight is 154. I think Manny came in at 152. I think it was a catch weight. Yeah. Yeah, Jack on here. Oh, Jack Johnson. There's Jack. Jack Johnson, the first black heavyweight champion in history. Jack Johnson. There he is. Okay. Hailing from Galveston, Texas, Jack Johnson was a product of his era. Boxing was different in the late 1800s when Jack came out there. It was a more patient approach, and Johnson would wait to capitalize on mistakes. Often, he was criticized because he was so cautious, okay? But he was a heavyweight champion, criticized that, okay? And Jack was flamboyant, man. He got charged. They couldn't find anything they wanted him so bad because Jack just flaunted it. They charged him with carrying white women across state lines. Seriously, that's what it was. Carrying white women across state lines. That was his charge. He had to flee the country because they were looking for him. Went to France for like 7 years. Roy Jones Jr. There he is. Roy Jones Jr. Roy Jones Jr. There he is. There's Roy. Now, he was the fastest fighter of his era. He once knocked out Glenn Kelly with both hands behind his back. Now, how he do that? When he headbutted him? I got to see that fight. Notably, the best defensive fighter of his era, because of his speed, Roy Jones almost seemed superhuman to spectators. Some of the stuff he did was just like unbelievable, man. With his athletic ability, he was a freak of nature. Roy Jones makes the list as one of the top defensive fighters of all times. All times. And then, Joe Calzaghe makes it. There's Joe. Joe Calzaghe. He makes it. Yeah, Melanin likes Roy. Roy was from Florida. Melanin said, Antonio Tarver was from the same town that your ex was from, or something like that, Melanin said last week. I can't remember that. Tallahassee, Florida. But was it Melanie Queen? Antonio Tarver was from the same town as somebody you knew. Your cousin or somebody. I can't remember what it was. Yeah. But there's Joe Calzaghe. Now, his nickname was the Pride of Wales. Okay? Joe Calzaghe retired undefeated at 46-0 at super middleweight. Now, some boxing analysts claim Calzaghe was faster and slicker than Roy Jones, and they clamored for a showdown. And when they finally met, Calzaghe put on a boxing clinic after getting put down in the first round. Now, it wasn't the Roy Jones, you know. It was Roy Jones that probably shouldn't even been still in the ring. Same thing with B-Hop. But when you look at BoxRec, it don't say past his prime Roy Jones. It just say Roy Jones and B-Hop were losses to Joe Calzaghe. So their names are on his resume. Okay? The legendary Fighting Marine, Gene Tunney. There's Gene Tunney. Oh, there it is. Melanie Queen said, I lived in Orlando, Antonio, where Antonio was from. Yeah, there was something like that, Melanie Queen. I couldn't remember. I'm sorry. Gene Tunney, the Fighting Marine. He beat Jack Dempsey twice. But Jack was more popular. Now, Tunney was known as an extremely skilled boxer with superior boxing ability. He handed Jack Dempsey not one, two defeats, one of which became notoriously known as the long count fight. And Dempsey was the most popular boxer of his day. Now, the long count fight was that time where Jack Dempsey wouldn't go to the neutral corner, and the referee spent time trying to get him to the corner and didn't pick up the count from the timekeeper, right? So it was a long count. But a lot of people say Jack Dempsey threw the fight because he wouldn't go to the corner. But I don't believe that because before that fight, a boxer could stand right there by the referee while he counted the fighter out that was down. But that was the first fight when they started sending fighters to the neutral corner. So Jack wasn't used to that. So he probably wasn't paying attention to what the hell the referee was talking about when he was saying go to the neutral corner. Because that was the first fight they started using that rule about the neutral corner. So I don't think he threw the fight. He just wasn't used to doing that, you know? Because normally the fighter could stand right there while the referee counted. They didn't have that neutral corner rule. That was the first fight where that happened. So I don't think he threw the fight. I think he just wasn't used to that rule being in effect yet. That was the first fight they used that. Next is B-Hop. There's B-Hop. Yeah, you can give me like a D on that one, Remo. That's not too good. It was too late to change it, though. So, but it's in it. Now, love him or hate him, Bernard Hopkins is one of the most skilled boxers of his generation. Hopkins successfully defended his middleweight title 20 times, which is a record for consecutive defenses at middleweight. 20 defenses. And he's also the oldest fighter to ever win a title. He broke George Foreman's record at 46. Then he broke his own record at 47. Then he broke his own record again at 48, where it stands now, 48. Oldest man to win the title. Broke the record 3 times. Broke his own record twice. Bernard B-Hop Hopkins. Okay. Wilfred Benitez. Great defensive fighter. Yes, he was. And Wilfred fought 3 of the 4 kings. He fought all the 4 kings except Hagler. He beat Duran, lost to Sugar Ray and Hearns. But there's only 4 kings in the deck, so Wilfred missed out. You know, couldn't say the 5 kings. But he fought them 3 of the 4. Wilfred Benitez, one of the greatest Puerto Rican fighters of all time. Now he's a Puerto Rican, New York born sensation. Wilfred Benitez is the epitome of the term boxer puncher. Not only did Benitez have great defense, his aggressiveness was paramount. Yeah, he was aggressive too, but also known for his great defense. Wilfred. Okay. I don't believe it's 3:30. And I've just started 10 minutes ago. I thought it was like 2:15. Wow, me. And here comes the legendary great Juan Manuel Marquez. His brother was pretty good too, Ricardo Marquez. Yeah, Juan. There he is on the left. Juan Manuel Marquez. We're winding down. I better hurry up because the last five, I got a little bit longer write-up on the top 5 defensive fighters of all time. Now, these 25, I'm not saying is the best defense of all time for some of them, but the last 5 is the 5 greatest of all time. We ain't got to them yet, though. Juan Manuel Marquez, the most elusive Mexican fighter of all time, Juan Marquez. He's the king of fighting in the phone booth. You know, that's the term used to describe fighting in the middle of the ring, in the phone booth. Y'all know what it is. And while using sidestepping motions to turn your opponent. Now, Marquez is a master. He was a master at counterpunching and is regarded as one of the best Mexican fighters of all time. Okay? Now, you know, if you're doing a defensive all time, this man got to be on it, right? Y'all know who that is. They come lock me up if I'm doing our greatest defensive list and don't have Sugar Ray Leonard on it. Come on, man. Sugar Ray Leonard. In the 1980s, Sugar Ray Leonard was named Boxer of the Decade. And he has been considered one of the greatest fighters of all time. Sugar Ray's style was considered too sweet to beat, okay? But he got his nickname, Sugar, from his wife, Juanita Wilkerson. And that was long before he was great, okay? I think Sugar Ray Robinson made it, too. Yeah, here's Sugar Ray Robinson. Sugar Ray Robinson, okay? Another of the greatest defensive fighters of all time. Sugar Ray Robinson was named the greatest fighter of the 20th century by the Associated Press. And is argued to be the greatest boxer ever, Mr. Pound for Pound, who the Pound for Pound list was made for. Okay? What the likes looking like? I ain't checking. No, they okay. They all right. Yeah, Mr. Pound for Pound. Sugar Ray had power in both hands, and his fluid defense made him a masterful boxer. Now let's look at the 5 greatest of all time. These are my 5 greatest defensive boxers of all time. Okay, number 5, the Louisville Slugger, Muhammad Ali. Muhammad Ali, like my mother used to say. My mother was a boxing fan too. My wife, yeah. Muhammad Ali. Now, during his prime, the 6'3", 215-pound heavyweight possessed the moving skills and reflexes of a welterweight. He was hard to catch. He could move. He could dodge punches. He was fast, and he was slick. Later on in his career, during his fights with George Foreman and Smoking Joe Frazier, those abilities were taken over by his iron chin, which became his most used tool for defense. Still, no one can forget his young days and the many times he made opponents look amateurish in the ring. Who can forget his flashy days of float like a butterfly, sting like a bee? The hands can't hit, but the eyes can't see. There's no doubt that when at his best, Ali's defense was a thing of beauty. Number 4 on the Cast Sports Best Defensive Fighters of all time, Nicolino Loesch. That's Nicolino on the right. Nicolino Loesch. Okay? Now, if your nickname is El Intocable, which means the untouchable, then you better have a good defense. Yep, his nickname was the Untouchable. Okay? Loesch's defense was more than that. It was superb. During his long career, the Argentinian stepped in the ring a total of 136 times and only lost 4. 136 and 4. Incredible. With his great defensive skills and inhumane reflexes and the ability to dodge and slip punches, he would stand in front of fighters or go into the corners with absolutely no fear. And why not? He usually made his opponents miss widely, and sometimes they even fell to the mat while swinging at air. Loesch's work in the ring could be described as an art form. Nicolino Loesch. Number 3 on the Cast Sports greatest defensive fighters of all time, Pernell Sweet Pea Whitaker. There he is. The man known as Sweet Pea was a true wizard inside the ring. He had some of the best reflexes of any fighter in history. And with it, he made opponents miss and miss badly. In general, Whitaker was a total package when it came to defense, okay? He could stand right in front of any opponent and easily slip, duck, or block continuous punches. Overall, Whitaker will go down as a handbook and many gems for many young fighters on how to be a great defensive fighter. Now the top two. After I say two, you should know who one is. Number 2, Cast Sports greatest defensive fighters of all time, Money. Floyd Money Mayweather. Okay? Now Mayweather was a masterful defensive fighter and a great counterpuncher while at it. With his shoulder roll based defense, he almost never failed to make his opponents look bad. Another reason Mayweather was a great defensive fighter was his ability to always adjust to any offensive style that was presented to him, and in the process, overturn it in his own favor, okay? Mayweather proved during his career that his defense couldn't be figured out. And the fact that he fought against many great offensive fighters makes his defense to performances even more impressive. And the greatest Cast Sports greatest defensive fighter of all time, drum roll please, envelope please, thank you. Cast Sports greatest defensive fighter of all time, the Will or the Wisp, Willie Pep. There he is, Willie Pep. Okay? Willie Pep is considered by some to be the greatest creative fighter that ever lived. In his prime days, the man known as the Will o' the Wisp possessed a defensive ability and an intelligence inside the ring that are unmatched to this day, okay? Throughout his entire career, Pep faced strong and top opposition on a consistent basis, sometimes even fighting twice a week. You know, he had his first loss. He felt so bad about losing. To get back in the winning ways, guess what? He fought his next fight 10 days later, okay? And he won it. Now, while doing so, with his great defense, he managed to accumulate a super impressive record of 229 wins and only 11 losses. Now, how great was Pep's defense? Just think about this. In a fight against Jackie Graves in 1946, he told ringside reporters, "Watch this. I'm going to win the third round without throwing a single punch." For the entire round, he made Graves chase him desperately while he slipped, blocked, and avoided every single punch that Graves took. And he missed badly. When the bell rang, he had won the round on all 3 judges' scorecards. Enough said. He won it on ring generalship. Never threw a punch, but his opponent never landed a punch either. And there you have it. Defense in boxing. Hope y'all enjoyed it. Tomorrow is going to be One Punch Wonder. Okay, we're going to talk about fighters like Buster Douglas. They had their 15 minutes of fame and never got another minute of fame. Okay, some one-hit wonders tomorrow. Wednesday, we're going to talk about Floyd against the legends. We're going to look at 20 boxing legends and how they would fare against the great Floyd Mayweather. And TJ, what's up, TJ? In the building. TJ says somebody looks like a tomato can. Okay. Yeah, but appreciate you, TJ. Hit the like and subscribe if you haven't. And Wednesday is going to be Floyd against the legends. I got 20 boxing legends from different eras and how they would have fared fighting Floyd Mayweather. Thursday, the Boxing in the State series continues with Illinois. We're going to have a good show because Chicago had a good boxing, deep boxing history. Illinois We're going to end the week this week with the profile, as usual, the life and career of the Macho Man, Hector Camacho Jr. I'm going to put the link in. We got like 20 minutes to chop it up. All are welcome. Okay. All are welcome. Okay. You know. Always got one in always got one. But you know, hey. What can I say? What can I say? Hey, putting the link in. Hope everybody enjoyed today's show. You know. Okay. And how is everybody today? It's another big week of boxing history starting up on Cast Sports, The Box, Dorian, bringing you all that boxing history, Monday through Friday at 2 p.m., part of that Fire JBT network. If you don't know, you better ask somebody. That JBT is where it's at, man. Monday through Friday starts off with J Hardcore in the Hangout at 8 a.m. Cast Sports at 2 p.m. Just Do Boxing, The Voice at 4 p.m. BVO Boxing TV at 8 p.m. Finishing the day up with the Mighty Rise podcast at 9 p.m. Then on Wednesdays, we got Let's Talk Fashion, okay, with Remo. A blend of fashion, sports, entertainment, and life every Wednesday at 10 a.m. And Friday is crazy in the JBT. J Hardcore at 8 a.m. The Casuals. Remo returns Friday at 10 a.m. with Ant McQueen. The Hardcore Casuals, or the Casual Hardcore is one of them. And then at 2 p.m. is Cast Sports, The Box Story, bringing you a fire profile of a former boxer. 4 p.m. Just Do Boxing, The Voice. 8 p.m. J Hardcore is back in the Hangout for the Friday night Hangout. Okay. Anything can happen in there. BYOW. Bring your own whatever. 9 p.m. The Mighty Rise podcast. And at 10 Friday, we got a special show for you at 10 Friday. The Angry White Men. William Old School of Rant is always angry. Then D1 might not be angry. Then 30 seconds later, he angry. So the Angry White Men podcast at 10 p.m. on Friday. That's JBT, man. And we're going to have every day like that soon. Okay. Here comes the link. Anybody want to chop it up or chop it down? Tell me how much you like the show or how much you hate it. I don't care. Just tell me something. And then if you hate it, hit the down thumb. You know, hit one of them. That's all I ask. Hit one of them. If you don't like it, hit the down one. Ain't no thing. You know, everybody's entitled to their own opinion. If you don't like it, you're wrong, but you're still entitled to it. Oh boy, there's the link. Anybody want to chop it up, down, all around? There it is. We got about 15 minutes left. Hope everybody enjoyed the show today. JBT, just boxing talk, y'all. That's my bare knuckles. What you call it? Imitation, impersonation. Whatever. That was my bare knuckles thing. And there's my co-host, Thomas T. Hill. What's up, T. Hill? Did you make it up here? I can't hear you.
You can't hear me?
Oh, now I can, yeah. Oh, you're loud and clear. Loud and clear. What's happening?
Oh, man, you tell me.
How was the weekend?
Weekend was beautiful, but it was quick.
You see any fights? I didn't see the Moten fight. Moten
I
was
watched the who fight?
Carmel Moten. Didn't he fight this weekend?
Yeah, man, that wasn't no fight. My man threw about 4 punches and knocked him out.
First round?
When I look at it, man, first couple of seconds in the round, like it wasn't that long at all. I mean, Carmel was on him like white on right, boy. He hit him.
Yeah, that's a good point, TJ. Excuse me, T. I was just talking to
you.
You
good, man.
Go ahead, Old School. I mean, T. Yeah. Go ahead, T. Finish up your thought.
No, I was just saying, you know, he dude wasn't belonging in that ring with him, man. That was a fight that maybe somebody fresh off the amateur circuit should
Was
fight
anybody
that.
else good on the card, T Hill? Any other good fights on the
The
card?
fight, the co-main, that fight
Okay.
was good, man. That fight was action.
The co-main? Okay.
Co-main. The only fight that I really thought was good.
What network was that on, T Hill? I
Oh,
didn't
it's
even know
pay-per-view.
about that. Tell
It's
Sonny.
paper. It's pay-per-view. Anything with Money Mag is pay-per-view. It was
Oh.
pay-per-view. So I think I forgot who put on the pay-per-view, but it was a pay-per-view joint. And you know, most of it was like WWE pay-per-view. Like it looked like it was staged and everything. I mean, hell, the thing between Mayweather and Gotti, they brought in another official
Damn.
because your boy didn't like the officiating going on with the one that was in there.
Melanie Queen
So-
saying 55 seconds. Wow.
It was quick. I mean, I don't even know if it went 55 seconds, but if she said so, it was.
Was that the main event or what?
No, it was 2 fights before the main event.
Okay.
Carmel Moten, man, I mean, that dude is dangerous. Like, he really is dangerous. And especially when you don't got no business being in the ring. That's like, man, somebody that the
Yeah.
dude looked like TJ said. He looked like some dishwasher.
A dishwasher. Yeah, TJ said a
It-
dishwasher. Damn.
It
Wow.
didn't look like he was really deserving of being in there. See, now that one fight that he fought against Cuba, man, that was a fight. That
Yeah.
was a heck of a fight. That Cuba dude was legit, man. I don't think he should have fought him so early. That should have been a fight that built up later on.
How many
But for
fights
me-
does Carmel have, T Hill? How many fights does he have?
I think he's now 4-0 with
Oh, that's
no,
all?
he's 5-0. He's 5-0 with 4 knockouts, I think.
That's all? Wow.
Yeah. He didn't have very many fights, but he got
Mm.
he got one less
Dan
knockout
McQueen,
than
what's up?
fights.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's 5-0 with 4 knockouts, but
Okay.
Dan McQueen hit that link, baby boy.
I just seemed like he had more than that, man. Damn. Wow.
Oh, he ain't got that much, man. In his third fight, the one that he didn't knock somebody out on,
Yeah.
that dude was legit. Like Cuba, I forgot his first name, but that dude was legit. That should have been a fight for later on down the line.
Right. Okay.
They was fighting, man. And I mean, Carmel had to pull some stuff out to get that dub because my man was doing his thing. He was
Okay.
solid. But yeah, man, the dude that he fought, he didn't have no business being in
So
that ring.
he got a decision against the guy you talking about, right? That
Yeah,
was his
it
only
was a decision.
right?
It was
His
a
only
decision,
one, right?
but they was landing bombs in that fight. Yeah, that's the only one. They was
Okay.
landing bombs. Both of them was landing bombs, man. He was getting
Yeah.
hit. He just hit the other guy a lot more, but
Right.
the other dude was hitting him pretty good, man.
What is he fighting now, T Hill? How many rounds is Carmel going now? Still 4 or 6 or?
I want to say that was a 6 rounder, but I'm not absolutely sure. But it didn't make it past the first round.
Right. I know this one didn't. I was talking about the one they say went the distance.
Oh,
and
that
say
one was a
5-0.
6 round. I think that was a 6 rounder. Yeah,
And say he's 5-0. He got 5 fights. Okay.
yeah, he was 5.
That's what he had more than-
Five wins, 4 knockouts.
Okay. Not bad. I just thought he had more, but yeah. Okay.
Nah, I mean, and the Mayweather stuff was ridiculous.
Right.
It
That's
was
80.
ridiculous. I
What they
think they're
want,
trying to set up a fight between him and what's her name? Because he was on the card as well too.
Who was that?
Remember the one who had headbutted him?
Headbutted him.
He headbutted Mayweather in the fight.
Oh, not that
I think-
old guy. He old.
Ortiz, that's his
Carmel
name.
and Ortiz?
Yeah, they want. I think that's what Mayweather's trying to make a move
Oh, what
towards
you ready to say,
because
man?
they had him on the card
Yeah.
and he didn't have any action going the fight he did.
Yeah, he headbutted Floyd, then gonna try to shake his hand and got knocked out. That was crazy, man.
Yeah, it's protect yourself at all times.
That's
And
right, man. Yeah.
What he did, man, he already knew he shouldn't have did that, but he said his corner told him to do that.
But then you're gonna stand up there and try to shake the man's hand. And you know, Floyd did what he was supposed to do. He clocked him. You know,
He cracked it.
the
He
referee
hit
had
him.
to stop or nothing.
Hit him with a combo that was from hell, man. Came with supersized fries and a large drink.
Yeah, do that when the bell rings. Shake his hand, but during the fight, you gotta protect.
But I think at that point in time, he was frustrated and he really didn't want to be in there. Because to be truthfully honest, man, I thought I seen Berto really hit him square on him, and he took that shot. He got up and Friday real heavy, y'all. Y'all got a serious circuit going on Friday.
Yeah, Friday. Ooh, Friday is crazy in the JBT, man.
So yeah,
damn.
You know what I'm saying?
Oh, we got the casuals, the hardcore casuals, the two casual hardcores. Whichever way you want to.
The casuals up in there, they doing big things.
10 a.m.
Casually, they doing big things.
10 a.m. Casuals is 10 or is it 11? I can't remember.
Well, they could drop that link.
It's 10 a.m. right? The casuals. 10 a.m. Remo.
Drop that link.
I know it's Friday. I think it's 10. Yeah.
But yeah, man, I'm just confused at what's going on with this fight over here with Bivol and them. I heard now that they're no longer the headliner. That Shakur and Cordina is the headliner. That's what.
In front of Bivol and Better Behave?
Yeah, and I heard that there's going to be a dual. I heard it's going to be a dual promotion, and some of the fights going to be on ESPN Plus, and the other one's going to be on the zones.
But who's going to be the last one, like the headline?
The headliner is supposedly going to be Cordina and Shakur.
What?
Yeah, that's what they're discussing on other channels. I don't know if that's true. That is
undisputed, man, between Bivol and how can Shakur and Cordina top
you
that?
Got possibly the fight of the year as an undercard.
Crazy.
So I don't know. I don't know if it's true.
We've been waiting on that fight.
Yeah. So I'm hoping that that's not the case. But interested to see how everything play out. Because if he does well with the play, if he does well, you said what?
What is that deal? Bivol and Better Deal. October? Somewhere like that, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Cool Boy is back in action. I think he on the Canelo card.
Yeah, he sure is. I can't wait to see him because it's been a long time coming.
July. Last year. Remember the week that Bud and Earl and him and Monster? Yeah. Over a year and a few months.
Yeah, so hopefully.
Matter of fact, I remember that week Bud and Earl
was always, he got the Melanin Queen on top of things. He said October 12th is the fight.
Okay. What's up, Ant? Oh, October 12th? Okay.
Oh, we got to make way for the man, the myth, the legend himself.
Oh, no, that's all you.
No, that's never me. That's always you.
All you, man. That's T Hill.
What is y'all? 10 a.m. Friday, Ant? You and Remo? 10 a.m., right?
I have no idea.
It's just coming it's coming to a time slot near you. Just make sure you tune in.
Yeah, I believe Friday. It's 11 a.m.
Oh, 11. Okay. It was something like that. Yeah.
Friday is heavy. It's 11 a.m. Eastern time.
How was your vacation?
Phenomenal.
Okay.
Yeah, my man came back, his skin glowing like Okinawa, man. I mean, that dude, he was out there living it big. Drinking coconuts, water, and all kind of stuff.
Wow.
Out there having Bahama mamas.
No, I ain't had no Bahama mamas.
No Bahama mamas.
No, sir. I had some rum punch.
Yeah.
Rum punch, that sounds good.
Wasn't it like your anniversary or something? Yeah. Like
yep.
That. Well, happy anniversary.
Yeah. Well, thank you. But it wasn't just that though. It was a bunch of us had went out.
Okay.
Yeah, it was a family affair.
20 of us.
Right.
Yeah, he had friends, and it was like Usher, John, and Luda had to do it again.
Yeah.
And it was on the islands, man. And I know they got some beautiful fruit that you can divulge in. So shoot, man.
Fruit?
Oh man, the fruit out there is different.
Okay.
Our food is well too. You know the food is
good. I had the what's the name? No, I had the coconuts. Yo, my man, hack this with the hatchet for me real quick. Not the hatchet, with the machete.
Oh, he had the real deal coconut.
Yeah. Yo, hack this with the machete and give me a straw real quick.
Mm. Yeah.
He's well hydrated. He's well
But
hydrated.
enough about the vacation thing, man. What's going on in the world of boxing today, gents? Talk to me.
You hear about that though, Ant? That they might be switching up the card and having Shakur and Cordina headline. Like I guess there's something
I
going
didn't hear
on with
about
it.
having them headline, but I do know that the Better BF or Beterbiev, however you want to pronounce it. I call him the substance personally.
Yeah.
But he and Bivol, I know that their portion is supposed to be on ESPN Plus. Plan is to make this Shakur Stevenson's first pay-per-view. And I understand some people may be opposed to it, but I feel as though you got to start somewhere.
Yeah.
So if the goal is to turn them into a pay-per-view attraction, you got to establish a sales history.
That's right.
I mean, one could argue this may not be the greatest opponent to start that campaign, but who knows? You got to start somewhere.
That's right.
You can definitely argue that, but you also got the caveat of having the best fight possibly of the year on that same card. So, you know, that's going to also factor favorably for his first favorite fight. So there's some kind of, higher thinking behind it.
In 2 different networks. Wow.
For sure. But here's the thing with these pay-per-views, and this is where it gets tricky. Oftentimes, we establish in our minds the quality of a pay-per-view card on paper. Like, what does it look like? Look at all of these matchups. Then you pay for the pay-per-view and you're like, damn, I should have saved my money. And then there are other instances in which you tune into a fight that's on free TV or as a part of your subscription, and you're like, man, I would have paid for that.
Right.
So there's no exact science, you know?
Yeah, it's a great unknown for sure when it comes to this stuff.
Yeah, that's true.
That much is for certain.
Yeah, that's right.
And for me, I just want to see them. I want to see the fight, so it's all good. I mean, I don't believe that Cordina should be getting that fight, but at the same time, I mean, Cordina's not a bad fighter.
Not at all.
Not by the slightest. I mean, the last fighter, maybe he just stayed there too long. And it's just he was feeling the effects of being there too long. Who knows? But one thing I do know is that I've seen many fights where he looked like he was a pretty dang good fighter, man. So we'll see what he does in that ring. Coming 22nd.
Absolutely. My thoughts exactly. Hopefully he acquits himself
to the 12.
best of his ability and puts forth a good effort, man. Puts forth a good performance and he comes to win. And I believe that this is a two-way deal, so to speak, for Eddie Hearn, Matchroom. Want to see what you have in Cordina, if he can be salvaged, because that last fight was pretty brutal. And then I must say this, I'd be remiss if I didn't say this, because Thomas Hale Ori, he spelled it out. You know, he's one of those guys, he's been at 130 for quite some time, and he probably should have moved up. And we've seen this quite a bit in recent times. Him, Josh Taylor, Errol Spence. You see how immediately after the fight, he was talking about the rematch taking place at 154. He don't want to do it at 147. Quite a few guys. Regis Prograis, he looked a little bit sluggish. His past couple of fights, even before the Devin Haney fight, he looked pretty sluggish. Against Zarria, there were a lot of knocks against him. So let's see what Cordina looks like at 135, and hopefully he's replenished, rejuvenated, and he looks more robust. And there was also a moment in the fight with the guy's name. I don't want to butcher his name, but he kind of got hit off the break when he wasn't expecting to get hit. And it seemed like he just never recovered from that point on.
Yeah, that can happen. Yeah.
Yeah, like he was over the street from that moment on.
No, that's a fact. Also, there's that one caveat being that he wanted Shakur for the longest, so now you get your shot at Shakur.
Yeah, they was talking about them a couple of
He was
years
talking
ago.
big talk. Yeah, he was talking big
vice
When he
talk.
versa.
first won the title,
Yeah.
remember? Yeah.
Shakur wanted to fight him as well,
Mm-hmm.
and now they align. They might be a little bit too late, possibly, but I think that remains to be seen, is to be determined. We'll see how it plays out, but
I like
hopefully we get a good fight.
it. Yeah. I like the matchup. Yep.
I'm not mad at it. I mean, would it be my preferred fight? Probably not. But then again, here's the thing: we won't know until we see it.
Until we see it. That's right.
Until we see it, then we can criticize it. So personally, I'm gonna reserve all judgment until the night of the fight or possibly the day after.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Might turn out to be one of them fight of the years.
I don't know if it's gonna be that. I don't know if it'll be the fight of the year, but it may be a little bit more competitive than we think.
Right.
Or worst case scenario for Joe Cordina, if he is inept in any way,
Mm-hmm.
he may provide the landscape for Shakur Stevenson to put forth one of those performances that people have been clamoring for now for the past 2-3 fights.
Who you talking about, Remo? Remo said they put his boy as the opening fight of the pay-per-view. Who is that?
Vasquez? Vasquez is on the card too?
Vasquez. Which one? The one that Vasquez. Didn't he fight Cordina? No,
He said,
that's
he said your boy. So if he's talking, I ain't talking right now. He's talking about and McQueen, it'd be Edward Vasquez.
We got some good ones coming up, though. Yeah. Is that Earl and Pandora fight still on? For this fall? Kind of breaking up.
No, I think it's talking about making a Honduras and Crawford fight.
Really?
I'm not sure if the Earl fight is still on. I hope it is, because, but only if Earl's good, because I've heard him lately talk about he might be retiring. So, so maybe somebody or somehow, some way, they got him looked at.
Yeah.
That maybe you shouldn't fight anymore.
Okay.
Who knows? I mean, he didn't suffer through some serious car accidents.
Wow.
But
that might
it is on. I'm definitely want to see it first. See what he still got left on the table.
You know, you don't want to find out in the fight that don't still have it. You know what I mean? It could be bad. Yeah. Kind of breaking up a little, T here.
Oh, my bad. I said I never seen if he's able to like really move around and have energy, have enough pop on his punches,
right.
I'm definitely with the fight, because last fight it didn't look like he could stand straight for long periods of time. It didn't look like he had any balance, and on top of that, it didn't look like he had much power on his shots. And I'm not used to seeing that from Errol Spence.
True.
You know, I mean, I cannot take away from what Crawford did, but at the same time, I cannot get the fact that Earl looked so pedestrian in that ring, like he didn't even belong.
Who's Earl's trainer? Who's his trainer?
That's another thing. We don't know who that is.
Yeah.
I never heard him say who was his trainer.
Right.
So that's an interesting fact too. I wish they just would settle it and, you know, him go back to the person that's been with him for the longest.
Derek.
Somebody had your back.
That's interesting.
But you know, money definitely changes a lot of things. Changes a lot of people. And they feel
Oh,
like it
Remo
is-
says just is set up for 4:15. Okay. Okay.
Yeah, I checked.
Like 10 more minutes. Yeah.
Yeah, I checked and saw that he's not going on till 4:15.
Oh, okay. So we can cook for a few more. But like
So
that.
keep the party going.
Yeah. Yeah, it's only 4:05. Okay. Thank you, Remo. I did not know that. Yeah. We got Canelo. We got Rolly back in the ring. Caleb Plant. Lara. Is Lara? No, I think that's on the Andy Joshua card. Lara and Danny Garcia fight coming up.
No, that's on
Canelo too?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Okay, so that's not that bad of a card then. You
I
know?
thought
Mm-mm.
only thing could be better is a fight I think we get at the end of Canelo, his last hurrah.
And Berlanga. Yeah.
Yeah,
Berlanga
good.
might shock the world, man. Go back, get one of his first round knockouts.
It's
Wouldn't
plausible.
that be something?
It's
Wow.
plausible. But I can't really speak bad against it because I'm gonna tell you, I didn't think at all that Munguia was gonna have the performance that he had.
Mm-hmm.
After looking at the way he,
Yeah.
but I will say that that fight that he had against Charlo, man, when you look at that man's physical body,
Mm-hmm.
it was different. My man looked like the Hulk up in that ring. His back was like huge, and he looked like he really was. He took that battle serious, and maybe didn't take the other battle so serious.
Yeah.
But
I mean, he
like I said, I'd favor a focused Canelo over Berlanga any day.
he wanted to make sure this guy didn't come all the way up there from 154 and beat him. So, you know, he said, yeah, I'm going to take this one serious. I got to win this.
Charlo fought the fight that he always fights, though.
Mm.
And that's true.
He's always been fairly economical.
Mm-hmm.
That's the one thing about him. He doesn't really let his hands go
Yeah.
in bunches. It's typically, a jab. He'll throw a 1-2, land a big hook. At 154, he could afford to fight that way because his power had a different effect on those guys.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Much different than what it had on Canelo.
Canelo, yeah.
He stopped Canelo in his tracks a couple times, but not enough to deter him for so long.
Right. Good point. Yeah.
Nah, yes, that's definitely spot on, man. Because he had opportunities throughout that whole fight to capitalize on some of the things that Canelo was prone to do. But also, we don't know what it feels like to be up in there with Canelo. And I ain't gonna lie, man. When that man was swinging and landing, it sounded like a bass drum. Like, I'm serious. Like, it was a different sound when his punches was landing as opposed to when Charlo's punches was landing. Man, people can say what they want. They not sitting in front of them punches.
Man, I was thinking the monster was tomorrow, but it's next week. Damn, I was looking forward to that already.
You gonna be up to watch that one?
Huh?
You gonna be up to watch that one?
Yeah. Where? Say it again to you.
You gonna be up to watch that one?
Yeah, I always get up to watch the monster, man. Yeah. It's an exciting fighter, man.
You know, I can't disagree and deal with that.
Oh, but out in California, it'll be, what will it be out there, like 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning? At least it's usually like 6 or 7 over here. But where you at?
If it's 7, it's 3 my time.
Yeah, that's I might not get up.
I might have to try to go to bed early that night, man. I'm gonna have to do something because, I mean, I know I believe I know what the outcome is gonna be because I just know the quality, the caliber fighter that he is.
Yeah.
And, you know, I don't see anybody at those lower weights. Now, the next weight up, I think the competition really starts for him. But I do believe that Monster in a way is special, man. The fight that I like.
Remember when Bam beat Estrada? But Bam is at 115. They asked Bam about Monster. He didn't say too much, you know.
Well, me and him had a conversation about that, and I think Bam can easily get up there to fight him. And I think Bam he kind of scales down the fight at those lower weights anyway.
Yeah,
so I think
by the time he gets to 122, Monster probably will be gone, I guess, right?
And if he truly says, because Monster ain't fighting for too much longer.
Yeah,
too much longer. So if he really wants to fight him and he really truly believes he can win, then he'll get in that ring. But I do like the Nakatani possibility. I think that Nakatani and him can be a strong possibility.
Who, I guess, Monster?
Junto Nakatani.
Okay. Yeah,
I believe that's a strong possibility of how it could happen. So
where's he at? 118, Nakatani?
No, I think he's at 22. I think.
Oh, 22. Okay. I would pick Monster.
I mean, no, I do not know. That's
a good fight.
I really do not know.
My bad.
Nah, man, I just don't know. I just don't know who would win that fight.
Nakatani, where has he been? What, he was at 118 though, wasn't he?
Yeah, but the one thing that I like about Junto is he seems like one of those rare occasions in this day and age.
Yeah.
No Family Matters reference. But he's one of those guys that understands how to use his dimensions.
Okay.
Because you see certain guys, like, for example, Sebastian Fundora. What's the biggest knock on him? The guy's damn near 7 feet tall,
right.
And he doesn't use his range. He's always in the pocket mixing it up.
Right.
Not even in the pocket. He's on the inside.
He's in the pocket of the pocket.
Right. He's in the eye of the storm. But Junto is one of those guys where he's going to use his legs and he's going to use his jab. He can fight on the inside, but he doesn't, that's the last resort. If you encroach the jab and you get past it, then he's got something else, then he's gonna.
Yeah.
But that's not the default. The default is him on the outside using that damn jab, using that length, and he's phenomenal at what he does. And on top of that, he's got pretty good power himself. 75% KO ratio.
So that sounds interesting.
75% KO ratio. So he's a pretty damn good fighter, man.
Yeah. Maybe we'll get that. Nakatani and the Monster.
This fight that Monster has coming up, man, it could be a potentially dangerous fight too. It could be potentially dangerous. Yes.
Doheny or something like that. Doheny?
Yeah, Doheny. That guy can punch.
Okay.
I think that's the thing with Monster that separates him from a lot of those guys at the smaller weight classes is the fact that he can punch. A lot of those guys, they're quick, swift, agile. They let their hands go.
Right.
But most of them don't have that fight-changing power.
Yeah.
With a single shot. It's those guys are back and forth and they look like two gnats at a barbecue.
Right. Yeah.
That's how they typically look. But Monster is one of them few guys where when you see him fight, he fights like a welterweight or a middleweight at 122. Like he's not out there just letting his hands go. He's picking his shots, he's setting them up, and he's placing them well and to maximum effectiveness. Like the guy is just terrific. So the guy that he's fighting, Doheny, like he's not as skilled as Monster, but he packs a hell of a punch himself. 26 KOs and 20 KOs and 26 wins.
Well, that's not bad.
And Monster has said as much. He says, this guy has power. I got to be careful with him. I'm looking to get him up out of there early. Like he said, Monster said he's not even trying to take the chance to get caught by anything with this guy.
Okay.
So he's looking to put on a surgical performance, quick and painless. Get him the hell up
Yeah.
out of there. Don't let him linger.
Right. That's next Tuesday.
Right.
Barroso.
And we've seen what's the fight that Monster had with that one No Nito Donaire, another little guy who could punch.
Oh
Remember,
yeah.
Nito Donaire gave him trouble in that
Yes,
first
he
fight.
did, man. Woo.
Trouble. Razor thin. One of the judges had a 114, 113.
Mm-hmm. It was
And
a
Inoue
split.
got his orbital bone broken in that fight.
Sure did. Yeah, that was a good fight there. Yes.
Right. And then the last fight that he had with Neri, remember he got dropped early
Oh
on?
yeah. Yep. She sure did.
He got dropped. And Neri's a pretty solid puncher in his own right too.
Mm-hmm.
At those lower weight classes. I'm looking at his box rack right now. This guy is a 77% KO ratio. So the fact that he was able to
almost
sit
80.
Monster down on his hind parts, it shouldn't come as no surprise. But after that,
Neri,
got smart and got him up out of there. So I'm assuming that he's looking to do the same thing with this guy, Doheny, but he's probably not going to look to take those same type of chances, like standing in there too long. He's probably going to like look to use his legs, get the guy to overcommit, catch him on the way, and try to clip him with something and get him up out of there. I don't think he's going to look to play with him.
Mm-mm.
So
Barroso on the card.
Barroso.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Andy Hiriaka. Yeah, he's over there. I think he's the co-main event. Yeah.
We got Takuma Inoue.
Oh, he's on there too?
I'm about to look right now.
He's been fighting on Monster's card. Is he on this card?
I'm about to check right now. I'm
He
going to
was
look at the
on the
event
last
card
one,
on
yeah.
box rack.
Yeah, he was on the last one. Yeah, Takuma.
Oh,
Takuma's got a title
Barroso's
too,
in there
right?
with a guy who's 23-0.
Uh-oh. Yeah, Takuma got a title too at 118. Yeah.
No, Takuma's not going to be on there, but we are going to get Barroso against a guy who is 23-0.
Damn.
This guy has 18 knockouts. So that's
man.
potentially a barn burner right there.
Yeah.
This guy can punch, 78% KO ratio.
Yeah. And you know Barroso going to be punching.
Oh, yeah.
So that could be good. That's the co-main, right? You remember Barroso, I think.
It's going to be a 12-round fight. I don't know if it's going to be the co-main, but yeah, it's going to be a 12
round.
Wait, who was Barroso taking on?
He's fighting this dude named
That
Andy Hiriaka.
Yeah.
A dude from Japan who's 23-0.
18 knockouts, right?
18 knockouts. Right now, he's ranked number 1 at 140 in Japan.
So that's interesting.
They call him the Blade. That's his nickname.
The Blade. The Blade. And what's my man's nickname again?
Barroso?
Big Watch.
Big Watch.
That's Barroso. Yep.
The Blade versus Big Watch.
So that
might be a great fight right there.
We're getting up for T Hill.
Oh yeah.
I knew Barroso could punch. I didn't realize his KO ratio was this high though.
Yeah, I didn't either.
Barroso,
92%.
Damn. Yeah, I did not realize that. I thought you was gonna say like 80 something, 92.
90.
Wow.
Only 2 of his wins have gone the distance. 23 knockouts and 25 fights.
Damn. Wow. That could be a good one. Yeah. Okay, gentlemen, we got to get off. It's about that time.
Sir.
The voice is getting ready to do his thing. Yeah.
Yes, sir.
But I appreciate y'all as always.
Appreciate
Good
you.
stuff.
Definitely appreciate you.
Always a
See you guys around the YouTube streets.
Okay, Ant. One half of the casual. Friday at 10 a.m. T Hill. The legendary Thomas Hill.
Nah, he just an average Joe. It's like everybody.
Appreciate you, T Hill. Anything else before we get out of here, T Hill?
Oh no, but definitely on Friday at 10 o'clock. I believe it's 10 a.m.
Yeah, 10 a.m. Remo put it in there. Yeah,
check out the casual.
The hardcore casual.
Great treat.
Hardcores.
You know, it's immediately follow me. Hardcore.
Right.
The extended one.
Right after the hangout, the morning hangout.
Yes, sir.
And we got the evening hangout. But okay, T Hill. I'll see you over at The Voice I'm going on over there.
You about to get run over there.
I appreciate you, my brother. We'll be back tomorrow. Same
Appreciate
place,
you,
same
man.
time.
This is good news. We gotta always take it in, man, when we can't get it, because sometimes we get the fake news.
That's right. All right. So I will be back tomorrow because if it's Monday through Friday at 2 p.m., it's the Box Historian bringing you all that boxing history. TJ, Lonnie Lee, #JBT, Mike Rim, Jay Hardcore, #JBT, Ray Patterson, Bruce Gas, Boxing Jazz, and more. Trump, Melanin Queen 27, the great Melanin Queen 27. BVO Boxing TV, #JBT, Just Do Boxing. Let's Talk Fashion, #JBT, Mike Mazik, Miss Cash, #JBT. And a special salute to Thomas Hill, #JBT, and Aunt McQueen for coming up, helping me out on the panel today. And now we're going to go over here and visit with Just Do Boxing. Might be already in progress. But everybody have a great day. This is Cass Sports. See you tomorrow.